Okay, good morning everybody. Today I'm going to try and make the video that I tried to make yesterday and just didn't even come close to making. So for the purpose of this, I've went ahead and I slid the exhaust back on. I hooked up a water hose to the water inlet on this engine, which is normally driven by a pump. However, under a pressure from the hose, you'll see the water coming out. Now, I did all this in preparation for a second run of this motor after 15 years. I have a fake fuel tank up in front, hooked up to an electric fuel pump. We did have the carburetor rebuilt. I have a jumper wire, as you can see on the resistor, for the coil, and the jumper wire and the clamp for the electric fuel pump both come back to here. I do have a switch that I intend on maybe actually wiring up. I don't know if I'm going to do that or not. Now, the story that I tried to get out on this yesterday was this motor sat for 15 years, and when I bought my vessel, this motor was delivered to me. It was delivered to me on the top rack that you see it sitting on, and I built the bottom one to just set that on in order to be able to move the motor easily. So far, the original compression tests had 4 cylinders on this engine that tested out at less than 50 pounds pressure, 50 pounds PSI. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hook up the ignition and the fuel, if I can do it one-handed. Maybe not. Okay, so the ignition and the fuel are hooked up. This thing was run for a little bit yesterday and then it sat. So I'm pumping the throttle a few times, the same as I would do on the vessel. And I'm going to go ahead and hit the starter over. If this battery's up enough. Oh, wrong wire. Derp. What an idiot I can be. Here's the right wire. There we go. Now, this is the engine running. A little bit of noise. Not having been running 15 years, I'm not too disappointed by that. I do have the drive here, which I've tested out, and it works both ways. This is a velvet drive. I have no temperature gauges hooked up, and I have no oil pressure gauge hooked up. However, basically this is it. This is the engine running. Now, from this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this engine just sit here like this and run for about an hour. Then I'm going to shut it down. I'm going to pull the plugs. I'm going to look for signs of moisture, and I'm going to look for signs of increased compression in the other 4 cylinders, because this surely looks to be running on more than 4 cylinders right now. So we're going to find out, and I'll be back later. Oh, and by the way, not bad.